So March is a very special month. We are rocking and rolling. It is Social Work Awareness Month. And this year, the theme is Break Barriers. And it's really an opportunity to highlight the important contributions that social workers make every day to the world that you live in and to raise awareness about their work as well as their challenges and the face of the profession in general. It's a moment for us to pause and think about who are the social workers in our lives and what do they really do? So I'm Amanda Fludd, a licensed clinical social worker and entrepreneur. Two things that don't really go together, but I'm making it happen like most social workers do. And I'm also the curator of this project. Today, I'm joined by fellow social worker Tamara Dopwell. Hey, sis. Hey.
Hi.
So we're going to dive right into it. So Tamara, I thought we'd do something a little fun, but not so fun for the profession. But what are some negative things or negative beliefs that people have about social work? And I want to see how much we could come up with in 30 seconds, because there's still a lot of, I think, even stigma about who we are and what we really do. And I think because of that, it also keeps us down as a profession, right? Like we don't get recognized in terms of the effort that we put in, the level of training and education that goes in to be a social worker.
Ongoing.
Yeah. And it means that we don't get paid as we should, right? And we aren't recognized, but I think it's because of some of these beliefs. All right. So 30 seconds. Let's see what we can do. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Social workers take away children.
Oh, that's like my number one, because I always hear that. We break up homes.
Social workers are lazy.
Ooh, we don't make any money. I mean, we're trying to raise the bar, but we're creative.
Broke. Social workers are not creative. Social workers are not innovative.
We only give out like food stamps.
And food pantry referrals.
Mostly women or only women.
Social workers have no soul.
Ooh, that's deep. All right, that's our time. And we'd love to hear from you guys too, wherever you're listening. Maybe drop it in the chat, like something that you've heard about us that really isn't true. And that was just a little bit of it. And this whole series is about dismantling that and helping you see what's possible in the field of social work and our value. So, Tamara, what does break barriers mean to you?
Breaking barriers mean any limitation that has been set, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in your personal life, breaking that, pushing back, right? So
I love that, because that's already bigger than food stamps. That's already bigger than taking kids away.
Yes. So and it could mean so many different things as a social worker.
Right.
A lot of social workers have to break their own personal barriers just to even get to school and educate themselves. They may be the first in their family to enter into the field, so they have to that limited belief. They have to break that for themselves.
Right.
Even sit in front of their clients. So I was so excited when I heard of the theme this year. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, this is what we do. It just warms my heart. Like, I love it. And it means a lot. It means a lot. And as we reflect on our practice and on our work and the progress that the field has made, we continue to break barriers. And I'm very proud. I'm proud to be a social worker. I am like the biggest social worker voice out there right now, right?
I love it. And you're creative. And maybe we could talk more about that. Like, tell us about your role as a social worker. I think you show up in so many different ways, and you're the perfect example of how we can be creative in this field and still help and still serve and still set ourselves up for like wealth and build legacy. So how do you break barriers in the profession?
So I broke barriers by doing something non-conventional as a social worker, by starting a business, but having it fund a social cause. So that's not typical. There are not many social workers that do that, right? So how do you combine entrepreneurship with our ability to help others? And it is a challenge in business, right? But it's necessary, and that's how I personally break barriers. So no matter where my 9 to 5 is, I still do community work, and I'm able to independently fund my projects, and that's important, right? So I don't have an institution. giving me metrics to meet and goals that they've set and their criteria. I run in my own lane and I do my own thing, right? And that's freedom. So it's liberating, right? So you leave work and it's like you're frustrated by this and that, different things that are happening. But then when you get to your business, I'm able to say, okay, this is my target population. This is who I want to help. And this is the way that I'm going to do it. I don't have to ask for permission or consent. And that for me is breaking barriers, because we can sit and be frustrated by those that are higher ups, right? Or we can take our creativity and think outside the box. And I've been blessed and fortunate that I am able to do this. And it continues to be a challenge, but I continue to push through and break barriers, right? Because there are other social workers that are coming behind me that are going to look at what I'm doing, and it's setting the tone, right? And it's letting them know that it is possible.
It is possible, right? It's like we're creating a new pathway for what's possible. Because I don't know that I saw all of this, as I was going to school.
And that's scary. It's scary.
It is. And in so many ways, right? Like entrepreneurship, like forget that. And then, but even thinking as I'm in private practice now, and I remember thinking that wasn't a thing for Black people. Like we couldn't be therapists. Like it was just, and no shade to nobody, but they were just like the old white person on the couch. Like that wasn't a thing. Like we worked at the clinic, if anything, and that was it, because it just wasn't out there for us. So I love that we are stepping into new roles and that we're so visible in what we do. And like you said, we're creating a new freedom for ourselves economically. We are still creative, we're still giving back, we're still serving, and we get to be a blueprint for all these other amazing social workers coming up.
It's important. Pioneers.
Pioneers, yeah.
And it's Women History Month, so just could you imagine?
All of that. And we're coming off of Black History Month. Like everything.
This is the best first quarter of the year. Like I love it. I'm so excited. I've been preparing for this since January. It's counting down and it's here. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to honor and be amongst other social workers and acknowledge what we do. It's important. It's difficult work, but very important.
Yeah. Oh, so agree. And in that sense, despite how challenging it can be, what do you love about social work?
I love the diversity. I've worked in an array of settings. I love that I can take my skill set, whether it's working with children, whether it's working with older adults, whether it's working with families, whether it's consulting with individuals living in a shelter. Like I can take my skill set anywhere, and that is liberating, right? I don't have to restrict myself and I have to work with this setting and I have to because sometimes that mixture adds to our skill set, and we have a lot to offer and we have a lot to learn and offer as well. So for me, that's, it's not conventional. Sometimes I'm like, what's the setting I should be focused on and working in? I realize like your gift makes room for you. So it doesn't really matter what population you work with. You're going to be good at it once you have those core skills as a social worker.
Which you don't learn in every other profession. I was saying this to someone else. As I teach as an adjunct, I'm seeing more students come in from other professions, like career doctors, right? I had a neurosurgeon at one point, and he realized that they weren't taught how to connect to people in this like humane way. And he realized that social work was a vehicle to that, and how much of the person's life and their story matters in their healing, right? So I think we're maybe one of the only professions that really do that and hold that at the core of our work.
And it comes so natural for us. It's like like we can do an assessment in like 5 minutes, right? Like I know your name, I know where you born, raised, your family history.
Right. And I can see you. Like I really see you. Right.
I get it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so finish the sentence for me. I wish people understood social workers ...
Can struggle with their own personal issues and still help. Yeah. There's a space for that. Don't have to be perfect. You do have to, it's heart work. So you have to come in with an open heart and mind. So not everything is taught in the classroom. Some of it is just being human. And there is space for that in the field. So it's not all textbook work. Sometimes when you sit with a client, you really have to connect with them and just listen. And that's priceless. They can't teach you that anywhere.
That's priceless. Oh my goodness. Now, there's so many reasons why we should celebrate social workers, and I think you're hearing it in the room today, right? Social workers are professionals. We're dedicated to helping people overcome so much social, emotional, economic challenges, just life, when life is lifing. And we work in so many capacities. I heard her say in the medical hospital profession, in shelters. I don't think she talked about the entrepreneur side, but she does a lot of empowering work and does like t-shirts. She has a full t-shirt brand, and that's the side where she brings in making sure that she gives back part of what she earns as well, right? Which is just amazing, and it's selfless work, which I feel like that is what social work is. So, we're so diverse in what we do, but we're willing to be that person to, guide folks, get the resources, help them navigate and build better lives for themselves. And there's lots of different ways to do that, as you're hearing in these conversations. So Tamara, thank you. We value and salute you and the work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're elevating on so many levels. And I think you're a good reflection of what social work is and the potential of what we could be. So, to you and all the social workers listening, happy Social Work Month. Yeah, that's right. But thank you guys again for listening. And if you know a social worker, or you maybe want to be an advocate for change yourself, like this video. Sometimes it's just a little thing. Share it in your circles. We are always one action away from change. We were actually on a conversation earlier today with the Nassau Suffolk Association of Black Social Workers. And one of the comments that they said at the end, we have to use our power. And that just struck me. And I think it's something for all of us to sit with, right? What is the power that we have, and how are we using it? And I'll make sure.
How are we going to break barriers with that power?
Oh my God, yeah, right. Yeah. And this is the season for that, right? There's so much that needs it and needs us. But thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.